What should you include in setting up your website? In today's video, I am reviewing the 5 must-haves for your professional organizing website with Clancy O'Connor. He created and manages his website, tinyconcierge.com, using Squarespace. Hi, I'm professional organizer Katherine Lawrence. I help you live a life with less clutter so you can have space for the things that truly matter. You can view our entire conversation in the Facebook group Organizing for Professionals. And I'll put a link to that Facebook group in the description box below.
You ready?
Sounds good. 5 tips. Here we go.
5 tips. Okay, so these are the 5 must-haves for your website. And the first one is your unique service proposition. So tell us about
Whoa,
that.
what are all those words? What are you throwing at me, Catherine? Unique service proposition, or USP. That's business school speak, which I didn't go to, but I picked it up somewhere. And that is, and you don't have to, by the way, but that just is what makes your business unique. There's a lot of organizers out there, and probably in your area, even if it's a small area, there's probably some competition. So what's the best way to get a leg up on it? Is it to try to do everything that they do and more? Is it try to undercut them on price? Or is it perhaps to determine what makes your business unique and you special? If you look at the best ad campaigns in the world, they have a target audience. So if you can determine what is it that you do really well, for me, my business is called Tidy Concierge. I was a 5-star concierge for 10 years in New York City. I've got a lot of stories for another time. But I have an ability to work with people, to take care of them, to empathize with them, to fulfill their needs, to provide that really good level of service. So I'm a KonMari certified organizer who also has all of this concierge experience. So something that I do to set myself apart is that the concierge angle is, I had a client the other day that we were organizing his kitchen, and he said, I don't know where to get this silver piece that my mother gave me polished. And so I researched a place where he could get that polished. Is that organizing work? No, but it fits into my USP of what makes my business special. So there are exercises that Katherine can give you that you can do, and I have some as well, determining what is it. Maybe you study psychology. Maybe you just are a person that's really into self-help and you're into those kinds of books and resources and you have knowledge in that area. That's something that you can provide as more of the psychological angle. Maybe working with people with extreme clutter, for instance, if you've been trained in that, and perhaps there's other aspects of your experience you can draw on, even if you don't think that they're relevant. Maybe you taught a fitness class and you might say, what does that have to do with organizing? Well, it shows that you know how to take a person who has a goal in mind, who wants to change their body or the way that it's moving or how they feel about their body, and you're able to nurture them and take them through these classes and lead them through a progression and a process, which is what organizing a home is like. So whatever your experience is, don't count it out. That might actually be what sets you apart from your competition.
So your second piece, easy to navigate. Our website should have good navigation. What does that mean?
Well, everybody wants a site that's easy to navigate, whatever website we're on. We are all on websites all day, all night. We know how websites should operate. So obviously it needs to function like any website normally would. It needs to look good on a desktop, on a mobile. It needs to have analytics so that you can look on the back end and say, oh wow, everybody's looking at my site on a mobile device. So I need to make sure the format looks really, really good for mobile because only 20% are viewing on a desktop. So that's important. But remember, when we're selling organizational services, what we're really selling is serenity, peace of mind, calm, order, right? They're coming to us in a chaotic state, so let's not give them a website that looks chaotic. We want to be the solution to that chaos. And that begins in our visual online presence. Your website is your digital storefront, or it's your digital background check. If maybe they heard about you from a friend or they saw you on social media, they go to the website just to verify, is this business legit? Is this person what I'm looking for? You can almost even look at it as like a first date. They're checking out your business and your style. And so a clean layout, not too many words, easy to navigate, an intuitive site that just makes sense, not too complicated. And that's a relief for people starting out, because when I was starting out, my website was super simple. It still is pretty simple. I just added some little doodads here and there that you can do later on, but It had like 4 pages, homepage, about, services, contacts, and we want to make sure that it's simple so that people don't feel overwhelmed. That's the idea, is to really convey that. You can do that with a calm color scheme. You can do that with an open layout that has negative space, not too much text. You can do that with fonts that are pretty open looking. You just don't want to have anything that's too chaotic, too overly colorful, or a lot of stuff crammed in there. One mistake I see people make a lot is that they want to do before and after photos. They just don't look great for the website. Maybe for social media, maybe for other things, but it kind of is a little bit too much of how the sausage is made. What you really want to think about in terms of this nice, simple layout is you want them to look at your website and have the feeling of just having organized and tidied their whole home. So the website should give them that feeling of when you're done with the client, you've got all the labels on everything in the pantry, everything's put away. How does that feel? And think about how that would feel, and then that's what you want to strive for with your website layout.
Okay, number 3, I feel like it's an easy one, but I do think people often overlook it, which is a photo, a friendly, smiling photo of yourself.
Yeah, I know it seems like a no-brainer, right? But sometimes I'll see photos that look a bit austere. We have to remember we're in the service business, and people want to know who is that person on the other end of the line. And I think Miss Katherine Lawrence is she has nailed this. So do what Katherine's doing. She has a beautiful photo she uses for a lot of her social media, for her Google image, for everything, and it's that beautiful yellow dress looking really smiley and friendly. That's what you want. And I know Katherine loves color. I like no color. This is all like natural tones in my home.
Look at mine, like blue, bright,
yeah. Like dried palm leaf and a suede chair, and it's all like cream and gray. But do what feels like you. But you want it to be, and it doesn't have to be a professional photo. If you've got the money for it, great. Hire a photographer. You can maybe find one in your local area for a couple $100, or maybe someone's son or daughter who studied photography in high school, and who knows, like you don't have to spend a lot of money. You can even take it with a great phone. Some of these the cameras on the phones are excellent these days. If you're outside, maybe under a shady tree or something like that. People think a lot of direct light outdoors is good, but that can actually really blow you out and not be great. But tends to be if there's a little bit of clouds overhead, or you're under a shady tree, or outdoors, you wear a bright color, if that sparks joy for you. And just try to get the best quality photo you can. Friendly, smiling, servicey kind of photo. People want to see who it is that is going to be picking up the phone, replying to the email, and see if that's a person that they could trust, because this is kind of vulnerable work. You're looking inside people's sock and underwear drawers and stuff that's been in the pantry maybe for years and is expired. So, they want to feel like it's somebody nice.
I think that makes total sense.
Yep.
So our 4th thing is a call to action. Now I like that term, CTA, call to action. Like that's been drilled in my mind from, all of the online business courses that I've taken over the years. But break that down and make it a little simpler for us, the call to action on your website.
It's what it sounds like. You're trying to get them to take an action so that viewing the site isn't just a passive experience. But what kind of action do you want them to take? This tends to be the thing that everybody leaves out of their websites, because they get focused on the photos and the words and the unique service proposition and making the site look beautiful, but they forget that this is a business and that we ultimately want to be booking. And so we need a call to action. And what is that? That could be different for different people. It could be different for you at different times of the year. It could be that in the near the holiday season, you want to try to get people to book a package. You're going to offer 20% off of a 10-hour package. I did that over the holidays, and I was able to get a couple, good bookings with that. Your call to action could be, for most people, especially in the beginning, it's probably a free consultation call. If you can get somebody on the phone or book a video chat with them, and that's not an in-person consultation, because if you're going to be driving somewhere or traveling, giving your time, that's probably something you want to charge for, I would suggest. But a free consultation could certainly be done in 15, 20, 30 minutes on the phone while you're home. You could be doing your laundry at the same time, and that's not a big sacrifice, and it could ultimately secure you some business. My website is geared around trying to set up that free consultation. So if you go to tidyconcierge.com, you could probably count the number of buttons and times I say, like, click here to learn more, click here for a free consultation. It's probably 50 times on my site or something. But the other thing to think about with the call to action too is not only A, have one, B, you want to think about if you're offering a free consultation, which most organizers will be offering, what is the value that you're giving somebody for the time that they're giving up? Because a free consultation is not free for them. They're giving up 30 minutes of their day. That's time they could be spending with their families, making dinner, running errands, doing work. So what I suggest when you try to get people to book this free consultation, and it's been successful for me, is to let them know a little bit about what they're going to be getting. An empathetic ear to hear about your organizational struggles. Some tips that you can implement immediately to provide relief today. A game plan and a strategy for going forward to get you organized in half the time that you might expect. Somebody to stay in touch with as you continue to, organize and tidy your home, and a cheerleader. So, there's so many different things that you can offer where you're not offering money, you're not giving away hours for free. You're saying this is the value in speaking with me. And that could be the difference between somebody pressing click or, not. So it's something to think about.
Okay, so our last one is, I would say in layman's terms, this is like, how do people actually find us
Mm-hmm.
on the internet? So I'm sure some of our viewers have heard like SEO, search engine optimization. Can you like make that a little simpler for us? And like, how would that translate to someone just starting their first website?
Sure, yeah. So when you're new to this and it's your first website and you're getting up to speed on a lot of things, not just websites, but social media and training and now photo, he wants me to take a photo. There's a lot. And SEO stands for search engine optimization. It's the algorithm that Google and Yahoo and other search engines use to determine the results that you're going to see when you Google something. And obviously, when we run a business, we want our Google search results to appear, and we want them to appear as close to the top of the list as possible. Now, there are things you can do with your site to increase your Google search rank in the short term, but ultimately this isn't something that can be done overnight. This is something that has to be built over time. It's like running a marathon, or it's like building a big, project. It can't be done immediately, but there is something called an SEO checklist, which is what I offer to my web design clients. I actually do it for them, but I show it to them and I teach them about it as well a little bit. And it's just things that you can do so that your site will appear. You can put your location. You can rename some of the pages of your website in the back end. It's not something that they see when they look, but on the back end of the names of the pages, it would be like professional organizer, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. That way when people are searching those keywords, your site might pop up. So it's a smorgasbord of different tricks and tools that you can do. And I build sites on Squarespace, and Squarespace has an SEO checklist that I just go through for them. But once you understand a little bit better and you realize that it's something that you do build over time, then you can start doing things like adding a blog to your site. And you don't have to blog every day. You don't have to blog every week. You can blog literally once a month, and that will help. Because one thing Google is looking for is they don't want to return any results of static sites. So they don't want somebody to Google something and then, you click on it and you go to the site and the site hasn't been updated in 5 years and the number that you call is no longer in service. So to avoid that, Google scans all of the sites, and if the site's been updated a month ago, then they say, oh, this is a site that's currently active. If people are backlinking to your site, so let's say like Katherine did a blog post and she linked to Tidy Concierge, to my business, and then people actually clicked on it, that would increase my Google search rank, even though we're in completely different cities and completely unrelated users would be searching. It's because the SEO prioritizes those backlinks. and sites being updated and a whole host of other things. So it's way too much to get into now. You can Google this, and there's tons of podcasts on SEO. You can hire an SEO expert. But it's just something to keep in the back of your mind, because as you're writing the text of the website, you don't want to only think about what do I do, how do I describe my business and me? You want to also be thinking about the keywords that people could be searching for. Because when they search professional organizer, your area, you want to have some of those words on your site so that your site gets returned as a result. So people find you, they click on it. And the website might end up being for you the way that you get all of your business leads. Maybe you decide that, my way of getting leads is I'm going to spend $100 a month in Google Ads, and I'm going to drive them to my website, and that's going to be how I get leads. Another person might say, I'm going to do networking events. I'm going to, once everybody is vaccinated and, we're back to normal more or less, I'm going to do talks at a library or something, to get leads. And you can do all of it, but SEO will be something that you want to think about over time. This is a long-term thing. Don't worry about it so much right now, but something to kind of constantly tweak and work at so that you can try to get your site ranking higher and higher and higher and higher.
You guys all so much for joining us. Like I said, we're going to be answering some questions in the comments. So feel free to keep posting those for, I'd say at least the next 24 hours if you're watching this on replay. And thank you, Clancy, so much. That's exactly why I wanted to start this group. For those of you guys who know Barbara Hemphill, she was like the grandmother of professional organizing, but she always said, we're better together. And, we're all over the country, we're all over the world, so we can share those resources with each other. And I know a lot of you guys have joined this group, maybe just even in the last 2 months, but I see you guys having dialogues with each other, which is awesome. So you guys can help review things for people and help each other through this crazy process of becoming a professional organizer, which is a whole wild ride of an industry. But
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and close us out here, but we will be in the comments, so keep those coming, and talk to you guys later. Thanks, Clancy.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Catherine.
Bye.
And be sure to check out the Facebook group, Organizing for Professionals, if you would like to see more of this conversation. I've also included a link to Clancy's contact form if you are interested in having his help setting up your Squarespace site. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.